lovelies. Hello, Miss Angie. Happy hump day to everybody. I am Terry True Crime, and welcome to Midday Missing, where we highlight current missing person cases that need more attention. Now, we live stream every Monday and Wednesday at noon Texas time. I am going to apologize to all of you up front. I am not my perky self today, dealing with a little bit of a migraine, but didn't want to reschedule because we have some very important cases to share with you today. So let's get started. On the afternoon of March 17th, 2025, 37-year-old Meilssa June Beson was seen walking along Indian Village Road near Wayman Lane, which is a quiet wooded stretch of the Lac du Flambeau reservation. Hopefully, I said that okay, in northern Wisconsin. She was heading in the direction of Highway 47. Now, witnesses last spotted her between 4:30 and 5 p.m. She was wearing red sweatpants, a black sleeveless shirt, and a gray sweatshirt. Now, Meilssa is a Native American woman and a member of the Lac du Flambeau band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians. Guys, I even went and put the pronunciations in. I am so sorry for not pronouncing those correctly. Now, Meilssa is approximately 5'7", has medium brown hair and brown eyes. She also has multiple distinctive tattoos on her neck, arms, and legs. Now, Meilssa has ties to Waupaca and Manitowoc. Geez, but she primarily lived and Lac du Flambeau. Family and friends describe her as big hearted, lovable, and funny, and a woman who stayed closely connected with her mother and often reached out if she needed help or simply wanted to talk. But after that walk in mid March, she has vanished. Now, 6 long days passed before her family, unable to reach her by phone or social media, reported Meilssa missing to the tribal police on March 23rd. Her mother, Winifred Winnie Beson, said it was extremely out of character for her daughter to go so long without contact. And she said the silence was unbearable. Guys, I can't even imagine what these families go through. Now, authorities treated this case seriously from the beginning, recognizing both the dangerous wilderness terrain surrounding the reservation and the troubling national trend of missing Indigenous women going under investigated. The urgency was real, and time was already slipping away. Great job, guys. They jumped in. The search that followed was a large scale and complex search. Over 3,400 acres were combed by foot, drone, aircraft, and specialized canine units. Guys, this law enforcement jumped into action, and I want to make sure we give them kudos because a lot of times here on Midday Missing, we don't see that. Officials even conducted underwater drone sweeps and aerial surveillance with these drones. Ground teams navigated dense woods, frozen lakes, and bogs that were made more dangerous by the spring thawing conditions. Guys, at one point, a lead search official from a neighboring agency reportedly nearly drowned while trying to access one of the marshy areas. Guys, I want to take a minute to just remind everyone that those responders and search and rescue volunteers, they are truly putting their lives on the line. And we need to make sure they get the credit that they so deserve. Now, guys, the snow didn't help. In the days after Melissa's disappeared, the area was hit by 2 snowstorms totaling 9 inches, followed by melting and refreezing of the snow, which complicated the terrain and the scent trails even worse. Now, despite these conditions, searchers pressed on for weeks, sometimes multiple times per day in different locations. Now, investigators also checked more than 360 surveillance cameras and footage and scan license plate data from around the surrounding region. But guys, none yielded any evidence of Melissa's movements after she was last seen. Now, over the following weeks, police received dozens of tips from people who claimed to have seen Meilssa in various places, but every sighting was investigated. Some turned out to be a case of mistaking identity, others were hoaxes, and nothing was confirmed. Now, at one point, authorities shared two working theories. One, that Meilssa may have gotten lost in the woods, possibly injured or suffering from exposure. Or two, that she may have left the reservation voluntarily, staying somewhere with acquaintances. However, guys, her family finds the second theory very unlikely. Meilssa always reached out for support when she was in need, and they said she would have never disappeared without a word. Now, her mother began to voice another concern, the possibility that her daughter had been abducted, possibly a victim of trafficking. This fear is tragically well founded. Indigenous women and girls across the US and Canada face disproportionate rates of disappearance and violence. And the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women is especially severe in rural and reservation communities. Now, the community rallied. Tribal officials urged Meilssa, if she was out there voluntarily, to come home. And police released this message directed to Meilssa. Meilssa, please know that you are not in trouble. We are not going to arrest you or take you to jail. All anyone wants is for you to come home. Your family is frantic and the entire community is worried about you. There will be relief and much happiness upon your return. We all know that it is not your intent to cause such concern and worry. It exists because you are cared about and your absence is felt by everyone. Please contact your family or our department. If you need transportation, it will be provided. If you need money to assist you in coming home, that too will be provided to you. Just please reach out and let your community know that you are safe. As of today, guys, the silence has continued. Her mother, Winnie, has spoken in multiple interviews and community meetings, sometimes breaking down in tears, showing her heartbreak. She emphasized that Meilssa wasn't just a name. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend. She was someone who laughed loudly, loved deeply, and deserved to be found. A $25,000 reward was offered by the Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, for any information that leads to Melissa's safe return or to the arrest of anyone responsible for her disappearance. Guys, as of this month, the investigation into Melissa's disappearance remains active. Search efforts are ongoing, though they have scaled back. Investigators are still reviewing tips, analyzing data, and keeping the lines of communication open with neighboring jurisdictions. Now, guys, this case is far from cold, but it desperately needs public support to stay alive. Authorities continue to ask anyone with even the smallest piece of information to come forward. Her family urges the public to share her story, print her poster, and speak up if you know anything. Meilssa June Beson didn't just vanish. Someone saw something. Someone knows something. And until she is found, her family and community will not rest. If you have any information, please contact the Lac du Flambeau Tribal Police at 715-588-77, that's too many numbers, 7717. Sorry, guys, this migraine's playing with my brain and my eyes. Or Vilas County Sheriff's Office at 715-479-4441. Her mother put it best. She's not just missing, she's ours, and we need her home. Guys, these stories always break, break my heart. Okay. Please share Melissa's poster. It will be posted on our Midday Missing Facebook page. Let's help get the word out. Now, also, if you know of or have a loved one missing and you're interested in having their story featured on an upcoming episode, or maybe join us for a live interview, you can contact Amy, our assistant producer, by email at amy@tcwtmedia.com or send us a DM on any of our social media pages. Sorry, guys, I got to take a quick drink. Yeah, it's a struggle today, but next, guys, we're going to talk about Jon Jacob Borman Jr., known affectionately as Jake to his family and friends. He vanished in the early hours of March 6, 2020. He was just 22 years old. He was born and raised in Wisconsin. Jake was working to rebuild his life, trying to push forward after struggling with addiction. His family says he was on the path of sobriety and finding his footing. But in the cold, still darkness of that early March morning, Jake seemingly disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a trail of questions, heartbreak, and a lot of suspicion. Now, March 5th, 2020 began as an ordinary day for Jake. He finished his shift at A&W in, okay, I'm going to try to say this, Waupaca around 5:30 p.m., a routine job he had held for some time. A friend named Jane picked him up after work and drove him to Waupaca later that evening. He was picked up by another acquaintance, a young woman named Sue, who brought him to her home in the King area. Guys, I don't know what it is about Wisconsin, but they are throwing me a lot of curveballs with these pronunciations today. Okay. Now, surveillance footage later captured Jake and Sue together at a local gas station around 2:30 a.m. on March 6th. Now, at some point later that night, reportedly around 3:28 in the morning, Jake called Jane to ask her a ride to work the following morning. She agreed, planning to pick him up around 9:30 a.m. so he could get to his 10 a.m. shift. Guys, that call would be the last confirmed contact Jake ever made. Guys, I have to also say, you can tell Jake was in his 20s because at the age I am now, if I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, being at work at 10 a.m. is, I don't know if I could do that or not do it well. Okay. Now, according to Sue, Jake walked out of her house sometime around 8 a.m. that morning. Outside, the temperatures were bitterly cold. He left on foot, reportedly wearing a dark Nike hoodie, a gray stocking cap, blue jeans, brown shoes, and a Columbia style jacket in blue and gray, and a drawstring backpack. Now, he didn't take his phone charger, his wallet, or any winter gear. And guys, no one was confirming seeing him after that. Guys, why did he not take his wallet? That to me is weird, unless he just forgot it. I mean, yesterday I took the wrong car to a doctor's appointment, so I could see leaving my house without a wallet, but I just found that weird. What is especially troubling is that Jack never arrived for work. Guys, he also never picked up his paycheck, something his family said was not like him. Okay. Now, later investigators revealed that his phone had pinged near the King area at around 9 a.m. on March 6th. Then it went silent. Now, when Jake didn't show up for his shift, his family reported him missing. Oh boy. Waupaca, Wap, Waupaca County Sheriff's Office took the lead on the case, opening an investigation. In the first days and weeks, search efforts included ground teams and the use of cadaver dogs, particularly around Sue's property, the last known place Jake had been seen. Despite efforts, no trace has ever been found. Now, guys, officers did not confirm that if anything was discovered near the house. I also couldn't find if they searched in the house. So that I found weird. Now, they said no charges were filed, and law enforcement stated that they lacked probable cause to compel testimony from people who had been with Jake that night. Okay, guys, I have a question. If you've watched Midday Missing for a while, I've often asked why we can't compel testimony. Here, Wisconsin is saying they can compel testimony. I didn't think you could compel testimony from people because they have the right to not criminate themselves. Or is this migraine really pushing me over the edge today? I don't know. Now, more than 200 tips have come in. Jake's name was entered into the National Missing Persons Database, and his case was added to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. But, guys, despite tips, searches, and vigils, the trail went cold. Jake's family has not given up. Year after year, they've marked the anniversaries with hope and with pain. They have organized candlelight vigils and asked hunters in the area to keep an eye out for any possible clues in the woods, especially during deer season. Now, his mother has spoken publicly, urging anyone with information to come forward, even anonymously. She said Jake wasn't perfect, but he was trying. He was kind and he mattered, and he didn't deserve to vanish without answers. Guess what? I freaking agree. Okay? Every person matters, unless you're a serial killer. But that's just my 2 cents. As the investigation stretched into its third year, the family became increasingly frustrated with what they saw as a lack of urgency and transparency. Some believe Jake may have met with foul play, either through accident, overdose, or something more sinister, and that people with knowledge of that night have simply refused to speak. Now, detectives have stated that while no charges have been filed, they continue to view Jake's disappearance as suspicious. Well, yeah, law enforcement, it's suspicious because he just disappeared. I mean, I don't know. Now, Jake stood about 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighed between 135 and 155 pounds. He had brown hair, blue eyes, pierced ears and tongue, a scar above his left eyebrow, and a distinctive tattoo on one leg. At the time of his disappearance, he was reportedly doing better. He was showing up to work, staying in contact with his family, and he was maintaining a routine. His mother has said he didn't just walk away. Something happened, and someone knows what happened. As of today, the case remains open. Jake would be 27 years old today. A $10,000 reward has been offered for information that helps locate him or leads to someone responsible for his disappearance. Law enforcement urges anyone with knowledge of what happened to come forward confidentially or anonymous. Guys, remember you can always contact the FBI.gov and leave a tip. Oh my goodness, I just did a llama little burp and I'm not even drinking sparkling anything. Now, Jake's disappearance left a void, not just in one family, but in a community. As the years stretch on, the hope for answers remain fierce. Each new season brings renewed heartbreak, but also renewed determination. I just want my son home, his mother said during a 2023 interview, or at least to know what happened. Please, someone knows. We need you to come forward. Guys, if you know something about Jake's disappearance, please, now is the time to come forward. Please call the Waupaca County Sheriff's Office at 715-258-4466 or contact Kevin Rogers at Magnum Investigations Plus at 715-524-9044. Guys, let's please share the missing person flyers for Jon Jacob, who we're going to call Jake, and Meilssa. Guys, I heard a family member over on a YouTube video I was watching who said their daughter was missing for years and then her remains were found and they found out she was murdered. They said the hardest part of the whole thing was the years they went wondering what happened to her. They said her being murdered was horrific, but at least they had some answers and they were able to now put her to rest and say a proper goodbye. I want everyone to think about that, okay? Every family of a missing person, they just want to know. And I want every person out there who has done something and taken someone and they are missing, do the right thing, even anonymously. Put these families suffering to rest. They do not deserve it. Now, guys, there is no Terry's tips for today. My tip for today is just take one breath at a time, 1 minute at a time. That's my tip for the day. Okay. Now, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday for our next episode of Midnight Missing. Oh my God, of Midday Missing. Also, tonight, if you are a member of our YouTube channel, we have a members only tonight. You can come hang out with me and Mama. And guys, we are just going to have a good old fashioned sit around and chat. Okay. It's just going to be fun. We're all going to just chat. Okay. Now, remember, you can follow us all on social media platforms to stay connected and be a part of the conversation. You can catch all of our shows right here on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, you only get True Crime and Wine Time and Midday Missing. I'm going to tell you to come on over to YouTube because guess what? You can see us in person and see the craziness because there's usually a lot of craziness going on. And usually Lum and I are looking pretty good. Today, not so much, but that's okay. Also, tomorrow night, True Crime and Wine Time will be here at 7 p.m. Central. We are covering the insane case. Oh my gosh, this case makes me insane. Larry Rudolph, he's a dentist. And if you've hung around True Crime Wine Time for a while, you know I don't like dentists. I'm having to see dentist right now. I have to see an endodontist tomorrow because I got to get a root canal. I don't like dentists in general. I really don't like Rudolph. Okay. Really don't like him. So you're going to want to join us for that. I want to ask you guys until next time, please, as always, stay safe. If you see something, say something because, guys, I've said this before, your silence is protecting the criminal. Okay. You're not helping the victim by staying quiet. You are literally an accessory in my mind if you know something and you're not telling. Okay. So do the right thing and let's help these families get the answers they deserve. Bye, guys. I will see our members tonight. Everybody else, I will see you tomorrow night. Take care, guys. Bye.